And now to a healthcare issue that impacts families all around the world, Alzheimer's. 30 million people are affected globally, and that number is expected to double by the year 2030. It's been more than a decade since a new treatment for Alzheimer's disease has come to market, with some of the most promising drug trials coming up short last year. A treatment that reverses or even slows the disease could mean billions in annual global sales. Bertha Coombs has more.
Dick Purdy was in his mid-70s when he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease. Now 82, the former surgeon's memory has steadily declined, but at times his insights still seem sharp.
It just never occurred to me that someday I would be a patient.
For his wife, Gloria, a retired nurse, the goal is to keep him healthy and living at home and getting him enrolled in a new clinical trial.
We've been part of the medical community all of our adult lives, and since we are not going to be part of the cure, clearly, at least we can participate in the work that's being done.
But after more than 2 decades of research, developing a treatment that slows the progression of dementia has proven elusive, in part because the root cause of Alzheimer's remains unclear.
The scientific community really doesn't understand the disease completely as the scientific community understands cardiovascular disease, for example.
A number of trials have targeted so-called amyloid plaques that build up in brains of dementia patients with little success. The biggest disappointment, a late-stage drug from Pfizer, J&J, and Elan Pharmaceuticals that did not slow memory loss, costing the companies nearly $1 billion in losses and prompting them to end their research efforts.
That's a concern for us, to make sure that those drugs are developed and get to the market itself.
Yet the demand for new drugs is growing. Dementia affects more than 5 million people in the U.S., 35 million worldwide, according to Alzheimer's Disease International, with numbers expected to double by 2030 and triple by 2050.
Analysts say the payoff for a drug that succeeds in slowing the progression of the disease could be more than $20 billion in annual sales. That has some companies taking a new tack where others have failed.
We have new data that suggests that some of these proteins that are changing the brain may start anywhere between 15 and 20 years before the clinical onset.
Eli Lilly is now looking at whether anti-amyloids may be more effective in early-stage dementia patients, while Merck is targeting an anti-amyloid enzyme inhibitor, again in patients with mild symptoms. For stakeholders and investors alike, it will take patience.
We're probably not going to see results from those studies for several more years.
And maybe a little hope, says Gloria Purdy.
I don't have inordinate hopes for the future. It simply is a day at a time. But it's not an unpleasant day at a time.
It's because I'm charming.
And Dick said it's because he's charming.
Bertha Coombs, Nightly Business Report.